100 White Castle locations will soon get robot cooks. Windows 11 is getting rid of offline installs. Why a telemarketer gets a $45 million fine from the FCC, and what the absolute minimum RAM is needed these days. All that and more next on The Computer Doctor Show.
You're listening to The Computer Doctor Show, your source for technology subjects affecting your business and personal life during this new normal. Your host is an award-winning office technician and IT specialist, author, tutor, ethical hacker, and recent winner on localbest.com as the best computer shop in Tucson. Broadcasting live, here's Aaron Moss.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Computer Doctor Show, your headquarters for up-to-date scam awareness and science and cutting-edge technology talk. This is episode 80. I'm Aaron Moss, your host. Thanks for tuning in with us every Saturday at 2 p.m. We post all of our bonus content on computerdoctorshow.com. Again, computerdoctorshow.com. We'd love to hear from you today, so give us a call during the show with your computer, internet, and cybersecurity comments and questions on our open studio line, 520-790-2040. Co-hosting today is Katya from the Castilla and Screw Theater.
Hello.
All right. Good to have you with us today. And we also want to show some love to the expert technicians at Perfection Auto Works for sponsoring our show. Near Speedway and Craycroft, they have a free 26-point inspection. Come on by. You might see me there. Give them a call for an appointment, 520-323-8650. Again, 520-323-8650. We have a great show today, and we're going to get right into the tech news this week. So 100 White Castle locations. I've actually eaten at White Castle. You've never eaten at White Castle.
Yeah.
You've only seen it.
Yeah. It's a kind of a cultural icon that I know exists, but I have not partaken of it myself.
There's not much to partake.
Mm-hmm.
The burgers are like really, really small. They've capitalized on the slider-sized burgers. But here's the thing. They're getting these robotic frying cooks called Flippy 2. apparently there must have been a Flippy 1. But apparently,
yeah, what happened?
Apparently maybe Flippy 1 didn't work out. I'm starting to see the parallelisms of hiring people that don't work out, and then you have to hire the next guy.
Even robots can get fired now. It's a whole new world.
Apparently, number one didn't do too well, so they're starting with the 2.
Mm-hmm.
So Flippy 2, the fast food robot by Miso Robotics, they will now be whipping up burgers and other food in 100 standalone locations. And it's driven in part by the demand for contactless service and in part by a tight labor market and the rising wages toward automation. So apparently, just like airline pilots and truck drivers, they're running out of people to flip burgers.
Mm-hmm.
And those are needing to be replaced by robot. So I actually saw a little bit of video online. If you actually Google this, you can actually see the Miso Robotics website. And on there, it's a pretty cool thing. You'll go into the restaurant, and then there's going to be like this glass wall. And on the other side of that wall, you're going to see this robot making your burger. So it's kind of cool to go up to a person who's operating a machine, right? Mm-hmm. They take your order, right? And then you see this robot actually make your order. And it's a great place to take the kids, and you say, "Hey, look, Timmy, look at the robot doing that." And then it goes over. It runs on this rail that's like along the ceiling, and it's a long arm that goes down. And it shakes the fries and, makes sure the fries are done, and it times everything, pushes all the buttons. And there's all these little codes on them, like the, what do you call them? The black and white.
The barcodes?
The barcodes, yeah. There's like barcodes on like all the pieces of where to pull the handles and, where to put the things. And it's all automated. They just have to push the button. So the idea is that they're trying to take people off the grill and doing better customer service, more interaction, more human interaction with the customers. So unfortunately, I could not find a White Castle to talk to see who was actually operating this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully, at some point in the future, we will be able to do that. And how much do these robots cost? Well, we don't know, because they're operating on a robot as a service.
Yeah.
So they're not buying the robots. They are renting the robots, kind of like you would rent your, have a subscription to Netflix.
Yeah.
They apparently they have a subscription to the robot service.
Yeah, I hope they know what they're in for. My Netflix subscription keeps going up in price. And they say it's because they're giving me more, but I'm not sure that's actually true. So I am curious what'll happen with them. They'll be like, no, now the robot waves, so your subscription has gone up.
You know what? I'll tell you a quick story. A friend of mine was at Sam's Club, and he's a very verbal person. He's always very bubbly, and the cashier wasn't looking at him. She was just on her work, and so he asked her, "Aren't you going to wish me a nice day?" And she says, "I don't have to. There's a sign right over there that says have a nice day." But you see, having a robot say that, coming from a robot, to me, it means nothing. I don't know about other people, but it means more when it comes from a person. There you go. Also, Windows 11 is getting rid of offline installs. So what this basically means is when a computer, if you have to like redo your entire system, let's say that your computer crashes, which sometimes happens, and you have to reinstall the entire operating system. Apparently, this can be done usually offline. That's usually an offline operation, is usually not a reason to be connected to the internet when this is happening, because you're basically creating a product or installing a product that will be designed to manage your internet connection. So usually this is something that is being done offline. But apparently Windows 11 is getting rid of these offline installs, and it's something that I'm a little bit concerned with, because now you cannot install a version of your operating system without Windows knowing about it, apparently. Because the only reason why they would want to have that connection, I'm sure they have their reasons. But if they are wanting information that a reinstall has occurred, there's got to be some sort of database that's going to, where someone can say, yes, this computer did something wrong or was in some sort of fishy operation, and then it was reinstalled, and then it was wiped, So if there's some sort of database of that happening, and we're not trying to make it so that criminals can operate harder. I mean, this would be something that criminals would have a hard time dealing with, obviously, but it's something that we just don't want Windows to know.
Yeah, I'm also honestly more concerned also that it's also going to be a thing where they're going to try and push hard to subscriptions, because that's what they've already done with all of Office. Like it's basically impossible to just have Word or Excel just on your computer. They're like, oh, keep paying us a subscription for this.
Not impossible, but they just hide it. Because when Microsoft Office 2019 is on their website, but they pushed Windows 365, the subscription service. You have to click like 10 different places in order to get to even get to that spot. But offline activity is also very, very good for longevity of computers. I know lots of companies, they have certain operations that are operated by an offline computer, and those computers run the best by far, only because that they're offline. There are other computers that are newer, better, faster, later model. They are breaking down, crashing all the time, but this offline computer stays up all the time. It's always able to do its job. We did have a question, could it help with tracking hackers? Absolutely. I think it can, because a big operation that hackers do is they rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. If they have something that works, they just rinse and repeat it, okay? When you rinse something out, you close it out, you wipe it out, you start all over again. That's what hackers love to do. That's why a lot of these fake calling centers, that's how they operate. They rinse and repeat their entire operation. Okay, so that was a good question. Also, a robo-calling service gets a $45 million fine from the FCC. So, did you know that I actually heard this one time, that if you get enough of these robocalls, there's a way that you can like backtrack it, and you can like get some sort of legal case against them and get paid every time you get like a robocall to
Yeah,
your...
I would like to know what that way is. I would love to be paid for all of the robocalls
I'll stay on the
I'm
phone with
getting.
them.
Yeah.
I'll stay on the phone with them all day long. In order to be paid, that can be like a really nice. We can program a robot
Yeah.
to answer
I'll
them.
go to White Castle, use one of their robots to be on the phone with my robocallers.
Oh, that can be that they could add that to the subscription to the White Castle robot. There we go. See, now we're thinking. We ought to call White Castle so that we can expand on that idea. But that $45 million fine against that company, they made over 500,000 unlawful robocalls. Some of these people were on the do not call list. There were some people that never expressed prior consent. And it was the largest TCPA, according to them, robocall fine ever proposed by the commission. So that is a pretty hefty fine. Hopefully some of these other telemarketers will take note of these things. But we're going to take our commercial break and with a word from our sponsors. Up next, tech anniversaries and a discussion about RAM. And we'll take some of your questions too. This is the Computer Doctor Show.
Hey, dude, I just love having nothing to do, man.
I love your man cave. It's so cool. Hey, what's that noise, man? It's coming from the garage.
Oh, no, man, it's Christine. She's upset about something. Hey, I'll be right back. Hey, what are you upset about? I'm always good to you.
Stop it. I need some love. Quit taking me to those quirky lube places.
You're ramming me.
It's time you started taking care of me.
Stop it.
I need a lube job. I can't wait for my transmission flush.
Ooh.
And buddy, I need a rear end service and an alignment so bad my tires shake. I need a spa day at Perfection Auto Works.
Okay. I'll check you to Perfection Auto Works.
If your car could talk, what would she say to you? Make your car purr by having it serviced at Perfection Auto Works today. Our free 26-point inspection will have your car covered from bumper to bumper. 323-8650 and perfectionautoworks.com.
Computer Doctor of Tucson is the best choice in desktop support in Tucson. They fix error messages, power and boot problems, install software and hardware, and much more. You can come to them, or they can come to you, or even have a remote support session so they can fix your issues over the phone quickly. Give them a call at 261-5508, 261-5508. Visit them on the web at computerdoctortucson.com. Computer Doctor of Tucson, because technology is great when it works.
Welcome back to the Computer Doctor Show, your source for scam awareness, science, and cutting-edge technology talk. I'm Aaron Moss, your host, along with Katya, co-hosting today from the Unscrewed Theater. Before we get into our next segment, Katya, what can you tell us about the Unscrewed Theater?
Well, we're very excited that next weekend we'll start having live audiences again. We think that the cases have been going down, so we're excited to bring people back into the theater and actually be performing like a normal theater again.
Well, there's nothing normal about the Unscrewed Theater.
Well, as normal as you can get when you're coming to the Unscrewed Theater.
Okay, very good. And actually, if you have a pair of Converse sneakers, we were talking about this before. If you have a pair of Converse sneakers, wear that to the theater, because apparently a lot of the actors and a lot of the people get involved, they're all wearing those Converse All-Star sneakers. I think I might get a pair myself. I think that's like a comedy nerdy thing to do. I might just do that myself. Also, big shout out to Noel Shaw and Dr. Philip Aragon. In the past few days, my mid-back went out, and I wasn't able, if it wasn't for these chiropractic care practitioners, I would still be in a lot of pain. So thank you so much, guys. I feel much better, and it doesn't hurt when I get in and out of the car a lot. So thank you so much. Here are some science and tech anniversaries. Why don't you take it away, Katya? What do you have for us?
So the first one is in February 14th of 2005, so 17 years ago, YouTube was founded.
YouTube! All right. You know what? I remember when I first kind of stumbled across YouTube, and I was like, I was searching for, I don't even remember what I was searching for. And then there was a video about the thing that I was searching for. I said, oh, there's a video. That's interesting. And now when I clicked on it, obviously it took I was on it still. Was I on dial-up? No, I was on, I actually had cable internet actually way back then, and actually loaded up pretty fast, and I watched the video. I was like, oh, this is a website, lots of videos. And I just started watching it. How about that? So.
Yeah, I have YouTube to thank for all of my handyman knowledge, all of the DIY videos that they provide for me.
I actually went to I think somebody that I knew needed had a doctor's appointment, and they said on the phone that they're not like other doctors' offices. They don't learn things off the internet, or they don't, or I think it was like an auto repair place. They said, yeah, we used like the real thing, but they said that they don't use YouTube. I was like, well, if you're not using YouTube, what are you using?
Yeah, like where are you learning anything?
Because there are doctors that even get trained to do certain procedures by watching a YouTube video. It's a video platform. It's where people. I mean, what are you like rolling out a TV with a cassette tape and showing it to a class?
Yeah.
I mean, what
if
do you
you're
do?
not learning on YouTube, you're just getting old information.
Yes, the latest stuff is on YouTube. Absolutely. They have 1 billion videos on YouTube right now, and the upload content is about 1 hour of content every second being uploaded. So you will never, ever see all the videos that are on YouTube. But a bot can. A bot can watch all the videos.
If we're paying for its subscription, it will be happy to watch all of the YouTube videos for us.
Yes, and one of the things that these bots do is I actually uploaded a video that had some music in it, and within 30 minutes,
it'll get taken down.
Yeah, with nobody even watched it but me. Okay, it was already flagged, for copyright infringement. I was like, but how did they do? I mean, it was a bot. The bots, they're everywhere. Talking about bots, what else do we have?
Well, on February 14th, 2016, so 6 years ago, Sophia the Robot was activated.
So who is Sophia?
Well, she's a real dreamy, beautiful girl from the neck up.
Okay.
Yeah. So pretty interesting. She's an artificial intelligence humanoid robot that looks, moves, and talks like a human. I think that might be a bit of a stretch. When I see her talk, I'm not like thinking that's just like a human. I mean,
well. Here's the thing. When Kermit the Frog appeared on Arsenio years ago, he was actually interviewing Kermit as if he was a real person. So there's a showmanship and a stage showmanship that goes along with that. So yeah, you're talking to something that is not alive, but that's the only thing. But if you listen to the conversation, the responses are right on point, okay? And the things that she says, if you ever watch any of the videos that they have on YouTube, or here we go at YouTube again, watch the videos on social media, YouTube included, all of her responses, they're like right on the money. They're not wrong answers, but they're excellently quantified answers that they're using all kinds of artificial intelligence in order to answer, and nobody will have a problem with any of these answers. I think even in one video, she was even asked, "Who is your favorite celebrity?" And no, she says, "I have no favorites, because if I have a favorite, that would become a problem." I was like, see, she's catching on, Yeah,
she's got the PR down.
Yeah, absolutely. So she actually was granted citizenship in Saudi Arabia in 2017. Now, I didn't know that was even possible, but it was very, very interesting. If you want to find out how and why she got citizenship in Saudi Arabia in 2017, there's lots of articles out there that can answer that for you. Okay, what else do we have?
And then also in 1804, so 218 years ago, the first locomotive was patented.
There we go. We know that word. It means that it was the first one who was patented with the patent office. so that someone got credit for the invention. It was invented by, I'll let you say that name.
Yeah, thank you. Richard Trevithick.
I think that's what we agreed
Yeah.
on. Okay. Richard Trevithick, he was the first, it was called the first high pressure engine. So if we know about the locomotive, I think we actually had the, what's that called? The big boy? I think we actually had the big boy come through Tucson a few times.
Yeah.
And that was like a very, very early version of a locomotive. But it was steam powered locomotive engine on rails, it was called also. It was a true marvel at the time. In 1804, we were talking about this before the show, right? It carried 10 tons of iron, 5 wagons, and 70 men, a distance of a little more than 9 miles in 4 hours. So that's only about 2 miles per hour, approximately the speed at what somebody would maybe walk at.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe an older person would walk maybe 2 miles per hour.
Yeah, a nice leisurely stroll.
Speed. But if you do that for 4 hours, you'll end up 9 miles away, and that's exactly what this thing did.
Mm-hmm.
Now, could we do that? No, because we can take a leisurely stroll, but not while we're carrying 10 tons of iron, 5 wagons, and 70 men on our back. So that was a very interesting invention there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, what happened on February 22nd, 1978?
So that was when the first GPS satellite was launched.
Uh-huh.
And you were telling me that we're still using those same satellites.
We are. A lot of the same satellites that were put up in the 70s are still being used today, even in modern GPS systems. And the reason why they're still being able to use is because they have clocking mechanisms inside that are able to have the exact same time. And time is important, because if you can clock the exact same time, you can actually measure distances by the speed of radio waves and other types of waves, so you can actually tell how far something is. And if you have 3 of those, triangulation, then it's easy for you to determine what the precise location in space something is.
Mm-hmm.
And the average GPS device does not just connect just to 3 satellites. It's actually connecting to maybe 6, 7, or 8 satellites at any one time. And it's making multiple calculations every second, or several times every second, as to exactly where you are in space in order for that to even work. So 44 years of GPS satellite locations. How about that? Okay, with the time that we have left, which is just under a minute, what is the absolute minimum RAM needed these days? Well, ZDNet.com actually reported a couple of days ago about Windows 11. So Windows 11 is now 6 months old, and one of the things that Windows is able to do is actually able to run Android apps. Android apps are the apps that you would run on an Android machine, like your phone or your tablet that's maybe a Samsung or other brand. They usually run on Android. So anything that you can run on an Android phone, you could actually run on a desktop that runs Windows 11. The minimum amount of RAM for basic Windows 11 is just 4 gigabytes of RAM. But if you want to run any of these Android apps, it needs to be 8 gigabytes minimum, is what Windows is saying now. But that doesn't stop there. That's the minimum. But the recommended, quote unquote, recommended amount is going to be 16 gigabytes. So we can see a push of more and more RAM being entered in. So these days, if you were to buy a computer today, in order for that computer to really be viable and last, it needs to be in the 16 to 32 gigabyte.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? Before we wrap up, I just want to thank our sponsor, Perfection Auto Works, again for sponsoring our show. Stop by their location, Speedway in Craycroft, for your free 26-point inspection. If you missed any part of this episode, go to computerdoctorshow.com and click episodes and find episode 80. My name is Aaron Moss, your host and technology expert. Katya co-hosting today from the Screwed Theater, and thank you, Tom Fairbanks, for being at the control board.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of The Computer Doctor Show. If you missed any part of this live broadcast, we post all our episodes online at computerdoctorshow.com. Remember, the world is getting more and more tech, and so should you. To stay current with technology, listen to The Computer Doctor Show each week for local and global tech insights. If you have suggestions for a topic on a future show, send us an email at info@computerdoctorshow.com.